This weekend, I've hired the Kubota excavator again. And for the next 2 days, I'll be digging up some massive old gum tree stumps that have made a real mess of one of my fence lines. But why am I digging up these stumps? What happened to the trees? Well, as you can probably see behind me, the wind's absolutely howling today. And almost perfectly 4 years ago, we had a brutal windstorm that tore right through here and caused absolute chaos across our property. We lost trees everywhere, and with them, a bunch of fence lines. I'm still cleaning up from that mess. So before we fire up the Kubota and start digging, let me take you back to that day to show you just how wild those winds were and the devastation they left behind. On the morning of the 10th of September 2021, I remember getting up really early that morning. I'd had no sleep the night before, and I knew that those winds were really severe and there would likely be damage outside. So I needed to get out there and investigate. And the first thing that I was confronted with was this side of my 3-bay shed missing an entire side. That left side had been blown off in the middle of the night. And remarkably for me, my 2 old Porsches that were stored in that left-hand bay remained completely unscratched. No dents, nothing. It was incredible. The wind was so severe that days later I found roof sheeting some 400 meters down the back of our property. The first thing I knew I needed to do that morning was head down the front of our property and check on the cattle. And on my way next to the driveway, I found this massive central leader that had dropped out of a 100-year-old macrocarpa tree. Luckily for me, it didn't land on the driveway and it didn't land on a bunch of native trees next to the creek. But this is a massive tree. This is how wild those winds were. My in-laws were living in our granny flat at that particular time, some 20 meters from this tree, and they never heard it break and drop out in the middle of the night. Had to move the cows into this paddock because this one obviously doesn't have any fences anymore. Massive gums down in the blue gum paddock over there. Look at my fence, completely ripped out of the ground because of this. Meanwhile, the pigsty, one of the oldest bloody buildings on the property, is Mickey Mouse. Look at that. Gone. Gone too. Bit of firewood there. Oh, this fence over here is effed as well. Very good. That'd be because that one's over the top. Oh, hey, look at that. Now, is it just me, or is that fence not supposed to be at right angles with the ground? Ah. Just bloody crazy. Look, 2 of them, 2 in 1. Worst part about this is it goes across the creek, so that'll be a bit of fun. Fence is stuffed, obviously. There's the wattle tree there. Quite a big wattle tree too, ripped straight out of the side, with many trees across fences.
Happy days. Lots of fun to be had.
Looking back at these images and videos just honestly makes me feel tired, knowing how much work and effort had to go into fixing all of this. I kid you not, there was not a fence line on our property that was not affected in some way, shape, or form by these trees falling down. In fact, we had around a dozen trees fall into our neighbour's property. We had to replace an entire fence line with them. There was just months and months and years of work here. And I think the most upsetting thing is losing all those trees. We had some beautiful spots around our block and some lovely paddocks with the beautiful trees, and those spaces have just never been the same.
And this is the progress that I've made by myself this morning. I won't be doing too much more because that wind is starting to pick up. But I've just been going around chopping all the limbs off. So I've pretty much got those two done, and these couple pretty close, but I reckon that's pretty good effort in a day and a half. I reckon we're going to lose maybe those two. The one on the right is going to lean up against the other one, and you can see there's like a mound where it's sort of lifted up, so we could lose those, which will be joy because it'll go straight across the creek and probably smash that fence. Ah yes, and welcome back to Windstorm Central. This is yesterday's efforts. Couple, what was it, 1, 2, 3 trees through there. We got that all ringed up in a pile. Got some of this one ringed up. Most of the logs still there. Got one there that's sort of precariously up in the air, which is a bit dangerous. And we've cut all the limbs off. Was it 1, 2, 3 trees over there, and got a couple of burn piles, well 3 burn piles going in here. The wind is just starting to pick up again. I guarantee we're going to lose more trees because there's a lot that are on leans and roots that are slightly coming up, so it's going to be good fun. Chopped up some wood up there, another burn pile. Cows are happy, that's good.
In the days that followed, there were plenty of fences I had to temporarily construct around these areas just until I could figure out how we were going to fix them and sort them out. As well as that, we had heaps of friends and family come out to help us with the cleanup. We also brought arborists in to cut trunks off root plates so that we could safely start cutting the trunks into rounds. But over the next couple of months, we made the tough decision to bring in some heavy equipment and to start taking down some of these tall trees. Some of these trees were on terrible lanes, compromised in that windstorm, whilst others we just felt were really precarious and posed safety concerns about future events. So we decided to take those down too.
Here we go. She's a-coming. Bye-bye.
Unfortunately, due to our heavy soils here, it made getting logging trucks in and out incredibly difficult. So on more than one occasion, we had to enlist the help of our neighbours to pull these trucks and trailers out with their tractors. Unfortunately, having excavators and trucks like that in our paddocks caused them a lot of damage, especially to drainage. Wow, we are battling the weather today. The wind is crazy, and it's likely to be like this for another 2 or 3 days. So whilst I've got this excavator, it's going to be windy the entire time, but we just got to get on with it. There's nothing I can do. So we are still cleaning up from that windstorm 4 years ago, which sounds ridiculous, but it has literally taken us that long. And so part of this is just tidying up. So what I want to do is I want to take these stumps out, rectify the ground here, level it all off, get rid of the holes and stuff here, level off that hump there, fix that post, fix those stumps up there. But the first thing I've got to do is I'm going to need to cut this fence in the middle somewhere. Unfortunately, the ratchets that hold the wires together are on the other side. So what I'm going to do is probably cut it somewhere right here in the middle, pull the lengths of wire back a few posts, just so it allows me to get in there with a digger and have a bit of a play. So we'll start there and we'll carry on. I love that sound. It's all coming back to me.
hydraulic hose. Ah, you. Sake. And that probably concludes play for today. Hopefully not for the entire weekend. I've just snapped off the hydraulic hose on the side of the of that. Damn it. Man. I'm hoping that I might be able to go into Kennards tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, and they might have a line or something, but that's going to ruin things for the rest of the day and tomorrow morning. That is not what we're after. Oh, man. I was saying to myself, you're going to have to be careful because look at these hydraulic hoses, how far out the side they hang. I honestly think that's ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't justify me breaking one, but why would they be so long and hang out the side like that? I just snagged one on the side of that stump and it's just ripped it straight off. Oh, great frustration. So, that is such a kick to the guts. I'm so annoyed with myself for doing that. That's going to put me back so far, and I've just been on the phone to Kennards, and who have been really helpful actually. I mean, that's not the kind of call that they want to get at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, but they gave a few people a call. I even tried to see if there was another unit that might have been available at a different branch, but there's not. And the best we can do is actually meet with a guy in Rangiora that makes hydraulic hoses, and he's not even going to meet us at his store. He's allowing me to meet him at his house. He must have some gear at his place, and he's going to do it for me tomorrow afternoon around 2 o'clock, which is, I mean, it's better than nothing, but still I'm going to lose pretty much all of tomorrow as well. So, I'm so dirty with myself, and it's going to cost me money. I expect my experience from having to get hydraulic hoses on tractors replaced, I reckon that is going to cost me somewhere in the vicinity of $150. Yeah. So you can see here where it's broken. So this is the pipe, and this side connects up on the boom here, and this is the end that connects into this fitting here. So this is for one of the sides of the tilt function on the bucket, and this is the fitting which was still on that fitting there, but the part that's broke is this silly, it's like almost like a 6 or 7 mil wide aluminium pipe right in there, and it is snapped straight off. I mean, when you look at that, that would not take a lot to break. That is definitely the weak point there. Where I've come undone over other times is in the past, you'll see on my first video when I hired this, I was using that wide bucket, the wide flat bucket, the entire time. And when it hangs out here, that is never going to be an issue. I put the trenching bucket on to work around this stump, And that's where I've come undone, because suddenly the side is here and you're exposing that pipe out the side. I've pretty much lost 24 hours of my hire with this, which will bring you to tears, but it is what it is. I should have it back and fitted up latest by 3 p.m. So we'll be back to it, but man. We had to leave abruptly because we got the phone call from the hydraulic hose guy and we're on our way to go and meet him to get this hose sorted. He's meeting us halfway in between his house and mine, and he's going to actually repair it in the back of his van. He's got all the tools in the back of his van, so that's super cool. So we're heading there now, shouldn't be too long, and then the good news is we'll be back sooner than I thought with the hose and we can get back into digging. So this is Paul from Hydrolink, and you're based at Rangiora, aren't you, Paul?
I'm based in Christchurch.
Oh, okay.
But I'm doing I live in Rangiora and I'm doing the Rangiora work at the moment.
Okay. And so, what have you basically
I've cut the damaged end off.
Yeah, because it's a really long hose.
Which is this is your damaged end.
Yeah, right.
I won't change the length because that's how I've set it up. So.
Yeah.
And then we cut it off because this is our product. I can put another end on it.
Perfect.
Hydrolink product.
Yeah.
And then that hops in there.
And then you basically
and
just...
it goes from that to that when I squeeze it.
Okay. Geez, that's pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when you look at it, I mean, the bit that's broken is that little aluminium piece of pipe. And obviously, a little sideways persuasion on that, and it's not going to take much to break it, is it?
No, they're very thin.
Yeah.
When you look at the actual collar inside there,
yeah,
you know, it's only the thickness of this here. So
yeah,
it's designed to break that rather than tear the fitting out of your port, because then you damage the actual ram
yeah.
of the cylinder.
Okay.
Well, there we go. That's done.
I can't believe how quick that was.
You can put that back.
And this is Paul's details here. If you're in Christchurch or North Canterbury, give him a shout if you need a hand, because he's been more than helpful for me today.
Lollies?
Oh, how good.
Does the big boy want some lollies too?
Mate, always we want some lollies. Hey, thanks so much, Paul.
No worries. I'll give you one of my cards anyway.
Yeah, will do. Thank you. Well, that honestly took about, I want to say, all of a minute for him to change. That was crazy, right, George?
Yeah.
And the cool thing, which is going to save me a bit of money, is he did not need to completely replace that hose. There's nothing wrong with the hose. It simply broke that little pipe, like he talked about, which is sort of sacrificial if that kind of thing happens. And so you can kind of see why they would set it up that way, so as to save all the fittings on the excavator. But he simply cut off that bad part and put another fitting on it, and to be honest, there is no issue with that because there is way too much length on that hose anyway. So that is a great result. Well, I guess we fire it up and check the hydraulics work okay and there's no leaks here. Well, it all seems to be working as it should. There's definitely no leaks there. Look at the size of this stump. It's actually way bigger than I thought it would be. And it's quite a massive hole. That's the first stump out, and it's right on the bonfire pile there. I'm actually going to keep that bucket on, and I'm going to try and take those next two stumps out. And then once I've got them out, I'll put this bigger bucket back on, and then I'll be able to close up those holes. There's a YouTube channel I watch called Farmcraft 101 with John, and if any of you out there watch that, you'll know that I wish I had large Marge right now, because this is taking a long time. And the issue with this these couple of stumps is that obviously they're so close, they're entwined. And I've done a lot of digging around these, but this one on the left, it is moving. And I think if we can get that out, we'll be able to get the other one out. So what I'm going to do now is just come around this side from about here, and I'm going to try and attack that stuff just around the back here. Get rid of all that stuff underneath there if I can, and I think that one will come free. I win.
Oh man, I had a horrendous night's sleep, and that was because it was blowing an absolute gale all night long. I hate to think how much sleep I actually got, but man, it was really howling last night. I thought we'd wake up this morning with a few downed trees, but so far it looks okay. So we did make some really great progress yesterday. As you can see, just a little recap here. All 3 stumps are out at the bonfire. That was a mission. That was an absolute mission to get those out. But this morning I just want to maybe just play with this a little bit and tidy this up, get it a little bit flatter. And then over here, I just need to do the same, tidy this up, get this all flat, and then we can move on. Wind is a beautiful thing. Well, another weekend has come and gone, and another hire of the excavator has come and gone way too quick. And I'm still seething over robbing myself of 24 hours of that hire. That really hurts, but not as much as this next point. I just got off the phone with Kennards, and that little fix on the side of the road, that one fitting, and the guy's time, which I mean, I am incredibly grateful for, let's be honest. He got me up and running. I thought I was going to lose the entire hire there, right there and then. But that little fix, ready? It cost me $192. So what are the learnings here? The learnings here are, don't bloody break an excavator while you're hiring it. Which is obvious, but the actual real learning here is be really careful. If you're hiring one of these, be really careful when you're using the trenching bucket, the really small, narrow bucket. That's where I've come unstuck. In a previous video, my first video on YouTube, where I was using the excavator to clear a bit of stuff there at the shed, I spent the entire time, the whole 3 days, using one bucket, and that was the really wide bucket. And so I just got lured into a false sense of security, I think, and chucked on that small bucket. Started jamming it down a hole, got it snagged on that stump, and broke it clean off. Look at the ground here. I've sorted all those stumps, which is amazing to do. To be fair, these stumps were probably way too big of an undertaking for that machine. You probably needed something like 5 ton at least. Nonetheless, we got them there. I think the hardest part was probably getting the stumps out of the ground and then rolling them over to the bonfire pile. But I got it sorted. We also got a stump in that back corner sorted, which I didn't film, and I completely forgot about it, to be honest, until I was almost finished with the excavator and saw it, and that was actually the easiest one out of the 4 stumps that I pulled out. So that was good and lucky. But yeah, really pleased that this is done. Like I said, these trees blew down 4 years ago, and I'm still cleaning up. I still have a few more stumps and other paddocks I've got to clean up. So I unfortunately didn't get to them because I just ran out of time with this hire.
and yeah, curses, but you definitely learn.